Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of my Storm fans out there. It's me, your captain speaking. If you give me just one moment, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows that we are going to be learning Izzet Ruby Storm tonight. I'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday evening live stream. We're going to be playing something for the first time. It's your first time, it's my first time, and we're going to see how it goes. Today, I'm going to be learning how to play Modern Ruby Storm. Now, this is an Izzet variant that has been kind of pioneered since the release of Bloomburrow, with the addition of Into the Flood Maw as an excellent sideboard bounce spell. And in the main deck, we get to play a set of Flame of Honor from Lord of the Rings. Excellent. Really love this. This is going to be fun. This is the premier Storm deck in Modern right now. And Modern is not a format that I have played on the channel for you guys. So I'm pretty excited about it. I see that Bender's Collection was first and Richard Lime. It's an excellent deck. I know that I've been in Discord calls and I've watched the YouTube videos of Bryant playing Ruby Storm and Alex McKinley playing Ruby Storm, and I just haven't had the chance to get my grubby little mitts in it, and today is that chance. Jason, I hope that you get some good rest. Honestly, that's very good that you have a nice job and everything's going well, but man, sleep is also very important. So let's just kind of take a little bit longer to deep dive into this deck tech, and then we're going to get started into the league.
This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market.
So let's just take a look at what we're trying to do here. And so that we know we're using Ruby Medallion, a card recently into the modern card pool, and Ral Monsoon Mage. Both of these are cost reducers, just like the Gifts Storms of old with, Goblin Electromancer and Baral Chief of Compliance. But instead, Ruby Medallion is a harder to remove permanent, and Ral is an incredible storm engine, which we'll see in a little bit. We back all of this up with Desperate and Pyretic Ritual, and with our cost reducers out on the battlefield, they are essentially Dark Ritual. And then we have our impulses, Reckless Impulse and Wren's Resolve. For 2 mana, or 1 with a cost reducer on the battlefield, we get to exile the top 2 cards of our library, and then we can play them up to our next turn. Manamorphose and Strike It Rich kind of bolster that package of mana development and card draw. And then we have a couple of MDFC lands in Valakut Awakening. And then the way that we actually end up winning is with Wish. Wish can go get either a Grape Shot or an Empty the Warrens. However, we also can get a Thassa's Oracle. And, well, we are actually playing blue, but in the Boros versions of the deck, we actually made 2 blue off of the Manamorphose. So that's kind of good. And then Past in Flames over something like Underworld Breach, because, I mean, look, there's only instants here, right? The only things that we're going to be casting again are instants. So Past in Flames better than Underworld Breach at this point. Wish also serves as like our wish board, right? We have Blood Moon and Past in Flames. We are a Giganta deck, which is very nice. And then our Izzet Splash, not that you need to be blue to play Pact of Negation, but we do play Pact of Negation and Into the Flood Maw. Now, Into the Flood Maw is the latest and greatest in bounce technology, gifting something, a tapped fish in this case, to return target non-land permanent as opposed to just a creature. There are a few creatures that we need to be concerned about and a few non-land permanents that we need to worry about. And then the nice thing about Pact of Negation here is with Wish, we can play a card from outside the game that we own. It doesn't specify right that instant. So Wish also serves as protection because we can cast Wish and keep comboing off. And if our opponent has interaction, say a surgical extraction or an endurance or something like that, then we can cast the Pact of Negation to protect ourselves. Really, really cool technology. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm already queued up for a league, so without any more blabbering on about the deck, let's get queued up and get ready to go. While we're waiting for our first opponent, you can check out the links in the video description down below for Moxfield links. Check out the deck list and maybe play on your own. I'll be right back.
Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks.
So, O'Doyle, you had a really good question. We win with Oracle somehow. That's a good point. I didn't actually clarify a little bit of that. I was going to as we were playing. However, we can use Galvanic Relay here, this sideboard relay, and exile our entire deck. You know, once we get Ral going, a flipped Ral ends up allowing us to exile the top 8 cards of our library. We can cast them without paying its mana cost. It's essentially Galvanic Relay and Mind's Desire had a creature baby named Ral. And so with that, we can take all of our spells and cast them and keep going and going. Flame of Honor, we get to draw 2 cards. We just keep churning. Flame is just like an excellent catch-all card, right? And then to get the last few cards without actually drawing them, we can get this sideboard Galvanic Relay, exile the rest of our cards, and then cast the Thassa's Oracle. And we are in round number 1, and we'll see how that works. We did win the die roll. That's always fun. And yes, Jason, I do need to watch out for Nadu. It is a premier deck on a scourge of the modern metagame, if you will, but we'll have to see. Now this, I don't hate this. This is a bunch of lands. This is maybe one more land than I really wanted, but we've got Ral. We have, some mana acceleration and some card draw. I'm going to keep this and recognize that it's a little bit slower. If I was on the draw, I might feel like I could mulligan more, but that's all good. We have some Surveil lands. You see Thundering Falls in my hand right now. I'll go get the second Thundering Falls. I think that there might be 3. I can't remember. We can take a look at that as we find this one. There are 3 Thundering Falls. Excellent. So yeah, this is not a super quick combo deck. We're not trying to win on turn 1 or 2 like we would in Legacy. So the 3 Thundering Falls kind of helps me as someone who's learning how to play the deck kind of recognize that. And I'm not going to play this Ral out, so I can safely get another Thundering Falls into the play and bin another land. All right. Surveil lands, getting 2 lands out of the way right away, which is great. So, by the way, if you want to be playing this deck, I have access to a sideboard guide that you can purchase from the website, from our YouTube channel, or by becoming a member of the Discord or YouTube supporter, all of that. And you get an excellent sideboard guide. Honestly, we've been keeping it updated very regularly, and I think that it's one of the most popular guides that we've created so far, and you can get it for, cheap, especially if you like supporting the channel. Jason, I've been pretty good. I've been traveling for work, and sometimes, Psychic Frog. Okay. Well, this is going to be interesting. We're up against potentially Dimir Shadow. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Dimir Scam. Okay, another Past in Flames. I'm not going to play the Ral out. Black is a removal color after all, so I'm not going to worry about that. Dimir Murktide, yeah, that makes sense. Without Ral, yes, we can still win. We need a cost reducer to win. So Ruby Medallion, we can still win with a Ruby Medallion, and we don't have to flip a Ral or anything like that. But we do need a cost reducer. This isn't like Gifts Storm, where you had very complicated but still feasible no cost reducer lines. But that's just not going to be the case here. Mark, I appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. I like that you enjoy the sound of my voice. Okay, I'm going to get an impulse and I'm going to keep that on top. Ryan, in regards to Ruby Storm, which version is optimal, Boros or Gruul? I don't know. We're not playing either one of those. We're actually playing Izzet today. And I don't know which is going to be optimal. I'm going to play this Reckless Impulse and plan to just use that card advantage on my next turn. We're essentially just drawing 2 cards. I shouldn't have played my land out, though. This is good. Oh, okay. Spell Snare. I guess the format is full of 2-drops. But this is good to know about right now. I played my land out before playing a Reckless Impulse, thinking, I can play around Spell Pierce or something like that. But what I should have done is not played that, because if I hit a land drop off of that Reckless Impulse, then I could have played that as my land for turn and kept a card in my hand. Especially if I hit 2 lands off of that Reckless Impulse, then I've wasted one of those lands because I couldn't play it them both on my next turn, right? So, yeah, Remand. Izzet is better for blue cards, I'm assuming. Remand, no Remand. We are playing Into the Flood Maw as a bounce spell and Pact of Negation. Not that you need to be blue for Pact. And then we are playing Flame of Anor. There's actually no counter magic in the main deck. So my opponent is flush with cards. 7 cards and drawing another one. Playing with new Lorcana cards. No Lorcana, Newton, but we are playing with Bloomburrow cards. So, yes. Joe, I'm playing Modern, yes. And driving you to drink, I suppose. I'm going to fetch here. There's no reason. We're not a brainstorm format or anything like that. This is just getting a shock land out of the way so that I don't have to worry about it. Ooh, okay. So with 2 Rals, I feel comfortable playing 1 and then just passing the turn. And I think that that's going to be fine. Bender's Collection, not playing Stormcatch Mentor along with Ral. No, I'm not. Stern Scolding, getting rid of the Ral. That's all good. So Bryant had played Stormcatch Mentor in a league that he posted, I think, yesterday. And he wasn't a super big fan of it. So he gave me a little bit of an updated list and said, hey, don't worry about Stormcatch Mentor. That's not a thing that the deck should be doing. Let's move on from there and play the better deck. So that's what we're doing. Lorcana and Bloomburrow are very similar. Okay, well, our opponent is just, doing exactly what they want, which is chipping in for 1, making their land drops, and holding up a ton of interaction. Just terribly unfortunate for us. This is a good deck for... there's a Spell Pierce. Okay, well... I will pay for it. Do you have another one? Nope. Okay. So here we go. I didn't have a land drop, but I can play a land drop now, which is nice. Bender's picked up 4, debated trying Modern Storm with them. I mean, they might be good. I am learning the deck. This is the first time that I've played, and I was just taking it on somebody, an expert of the deck, who has learned a lot more about testing over the past several months when I am just brand new at the deck. So Storm is something that I'm more familiar with in Legacy than Modern. Maybe it's all right. Maybe it's a good card. I don't know. Clawtooth, interesting, because he said the opposite in the closing thoughts. He thought it was good. Interesting. Okay, he told me it was not worth it. And then died to Bowmasters and everything like that. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of off-camera testing. That's for sure. It's usually several leagues a day. Okay, there's the Murktide Regent. We are deceased next turn. So I need some rituals. I really need some mana. I haven't really found any of that. I am going to get my last shock land out and see where things go. Pyretic Ritual. Okay, well, that is one of the things that we needed. So let's do this. Let's play the Ral out from exile, from our impulse. See if our opponent has a response. Okay, they're going to drown in the lock. That's all good. I've got another one. And they might have a spell snare. They're holding up one more piece of mana. No, okay. So let's see. Is it a Fatal Push? And this is the trigger, and they do have a Fatal Push. Okay. I don't think that we can win here. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that we can do. Okay, well, they also just forced that. Okay, I will concede. That is good enough. So this Ral, we wouldn't flip it until we have enough spells that would actually flip it so that we can ultimate immediately, just for the record. Clawtooth, in the closing thoughts, he said it just didn't get a chance to do anything in the video because he got a chance to cast it. Okay, yeah, so if you're playing more of them, obviously you'll have better options, but I don't know. Okay, so I've got a handy-dandy sideboard guide, and we are up against Dimir Murktide. I have Izzet Murktide and... Okay, here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to be cutting Flame of Anor and 2 Strike It Riches. And we're going to be bringing in 3 Pact of Negations and 2 Blood Moons. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Joe, you think you get that Legacy sucks right now, but why move down to double A ball instead of up to Vintage? You can do all sorts of bonkers nonsense. You know, that's a good point. I could have put Vintage on the poll. I should probably have Vintage on next week's. Ooh, not next week. It's going to be a couple of weeks, but I'll put Vintage on one of the polls. I do need to remember to do that. Yeah, because I can get behind some Vintage combo. Why is this better than Boros, Ruby Storm, Magus of the Bargain? I don't know. I'm no expert with the deck. I'm just playing with some fun new Bloomburrow cards and seeing if it's worth it. I don't know any deck comparisons necessarily. So this is just different at this moment. Gruul, I don't think is going very, very well because Boros with the removal spells that you get, and now Izzet with the potentially better bounce spells. I think that just Ruby Storm is in a state where you have a lot of options now. Your base red, and then you can just pick a splash color, and you'll probably be fine. Newton puts CEDH. CEDH on MTGO is kind of garbage right now. I'm super excited to have it available in the near future, but right now it's not implemented particularly well, which is fine, but it's a little unfortunate. Magus, look forward to learning what I can from your video and then applying these lessons to your Boros Ruby Storm gameplay. Oh, I appreciate that. I hope that you can as well. I'm excited to be learning this. I'm not a modern player by any means, but when I hear a Storm deck is doing, moderately well compared to the rest of the format and how Storm used to be, I'm excited about trying it out. I'm going to keep this Manamorphose. I realize that it's not a cost reducer, but I'm just going to be planning on reckless impulsing for the next couple of turns. So I'll be fine here. What commanders do I like in EDH? EDH or CEDH? There's a difference. If I want to be playing casually, Arcades, the Defender tribal deck, I think that's kind of fun. If I'm playing more competitively, I would prefer to be playing something like Rogsai or T&K probably. Although I've played Yuriko as well in the past. That was kind of fun. Yuriko is actually really good for like a high power EDH deck. That one's really good as far as just high power EDH stuff. Okay, Valakut Awakening. I am going to use that as a land, but I'm not going to... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do anything with that. So let's see. Yeah, Walls is pretty good. Oh, I did this again. I'm not used to this. I should not play my land drop out and get punished by a double impulse revealing a land, but that's fine. It wasn't a thing. I just need to be more mindful of that. If they have counterspell mana up, I wouldn't worry too much about splicing your Desperate Rituals. Oh yeah, I don't think that splicing Desperate Rituals is necessary almost ever. Yeah. I mean, it could potentially be good, but I don't know. Sam and Frodo for life. Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, I appreciate that. Sam and Frodo are Bay. They're the best of all. Okay, Pyretic Ritual. So we have a little bit of mana here, and with the ability for my opponent to hold up. What I'm thinking is I want to be able to cast 2 instants after Ral resolves. So I think that I want to Pyretic Ritual right now. But if they counter the Pyretic Ritual, then I'm out these 2 cards. And I don't have a land drop. So, I think it's probably best to play things a little bit safer. I'm just going to Manamorphose. And if they counter it, which they don't, okay. Okay, let's see if Ral resolves. Doesn't look like it. They are doing some things here. Your EDH friends don't like your Voyager very much. They never let it resolve. I don't know what that card is. Counterspell. Okay, that's fine. But we did get to sneak in a Morphose where we wouldn't have otherwise. Have a good night, Jason. Yeah, get some rest. So, yeah, Magus, I think that they would almost guaranteed counter the Ral, but they weren't necessarily going to counter the Morphose. And I think that I got a little lucky cheekily getting that Morphose. They could have countered that. Spellbomb with my Past in Flames in hand is not the most amazing, but that's fine. Game state feels a lot better when opponent only draws 1 card a turn. Yes, absolutely. This is much better than them having a frog. Okay. Now I'm specifically on purpose playing the land out. I know. I just did the thing that I said that I wasn't going to do. But I want to play around Spell Pierce here, and I have the land drops that I will need. So I think that I'm okay with that. And here, I'm going to hit another resolve. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. Instead of the Ruby Medallion. Okay. So next turn, depending on what we're going, okay, they're just clearing this out now. That's really nice. They're expecting that the card draw is better than holding that up, which is interesting. Maybe they don't have as much as they want. They haven't really been doing anything, though. So, I don't know. I would like to draw a Pact of Negation. That would be nice. All right. Let's play the land and a Ruby Medallion to start off the day. And that just resolved. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have instants that can be cost reduced. So what I'm going to do is start off with the sorcery. And if they try to bounce the Ruby Medallion, which they don't, interesting, okay, I could have responded with rituals. So let's see. Yeah. Wow, this is all just happening. Ren's Resolve, another ritual. Okay. So I'm just going to be casting spells with the idea that this Past in Flames is going to be where everything ends up. They're doing something now. Counterspell. That's fine. Let's cast some spells over the top of this, because if I get say, oh, okay. So Force of Negation, Counterspell. They have 2 cards in hand. I'm going to Manamorphose here. I mean, I could still hit that Pact of Negation. I don't, but I still think that that's good. That's really good because that allows me to Past in Flames. Now, is it better in the long run to cast a Ruby Medallion or just the Past in Flames? I can't do that. Never mind. I cannot cast the Ruby Medallion and still win. So, Past in Flames here, and I get a Manamorphose draw, a Ren's Resolve, and a Reckless Impulse if this resolves, which it does. Okay. Nice. So let's see about this Reckless Impulse, see what that gives us. Ral, okay. That's good. So there's Ral. And a Pyretic Ritual. Always yield to that. They might have some removal. They don't. Okay, so Tails. I won the flip. I have not been keeping track of which storm is mine, but I've cast more than enough instants and sorceries, so let's flip this. And what are they doing now? Long goodbye. Okay, that's fine. Pyretic Ritual, I get to Ren's Resolve here. There's a Blood Moon. Oh, they have a basic island. That's not bad, though. Let's hit this Manamorphose and see. We're on our last draw. Ritual. Okay, so that's not going to be anything I can actually do. So what I can do now is just cast the Ruby Medallion. There's the Pact of Negation. A little bit late for that one, but okay. So I can hit this Ruby Medallion and a Blood Moon and shut down a lot of their lands, which I think is going to be okay. And then I'm just kind of in a holding pattern. I have a flashback Past in Flames, a couple of rituals, and I'm looking for some action. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand, likely not able to cast any of them, which is nice. I'm going to play out a land here from exile, and that's it for now. But I think we're in a nice holding pattern, and as soon as we have anything available to us, we're going to be fine. Yeah, Force of Negation on the Piff would have been backbreaking. Oh, they have 2 blue mana. Okay. Oh my gosh, Gigantha. Yes, I have Gigantha. Thank you very much for reminding me. I have a companion here. I don't play with companions. Wait, did that just change things? No, not really. Like I can start Empty the Warrens beatdowns. No, I think that I'm fine with just Gigantha. Let's start with that. Okay. And if they deal with that, then we can work on something else in the future. How do they long goodbye Ral before you could ultimate the Ral? So yes, but I had a spell on the stack. So I had a spell on the stack, and that spell's triggered Ral, and that trigger flipped Ral. And while the spell was still on the stack, they got to long goodbye the Ral. So they did it well, and they definitely do have a moment where they can respond. Okay, so I have a nice clock here. And I might be able to put some Actually, okay, so I kind of want to play it a little bit safe and make them answer Gigantha first, which is not something that they're currently capable of doing. And then I can build up the resources with which to grape shot them afterwards, because we're really close to actually just grape shotting them. Oh, that's excellent. Okay, so now I can kill them this turn. Easy peasy. Let's just start off with a ritual. And do I want to flashback the Past in Flames? Yeah, probably. Just get all of this out of the way right now. And then I can cast a Wish for 1 mana. 1 mana Wish. I don't get that in Legacy. And I can just grape shot them right now. Look at that. Nice, clean living. Let's see what they do. They have Consigned to Memory, trying to get rid of the ability for me to do anything with that. And let's see what happens. They would have to have a Force of Negation, and they don't. Ah, look at that. Excellent. Okay, so we are 1-1, and we are going into game number 3. I don't think that I want to change anything up. I liked our plan here. Okay. I think that we're getting the hang of this. I'm not necessarily doing a good job of explaining what we're doing, but I hope that you can see everything happening as it's going on. I am going to put this Jeggy right over here so I don't forget him. And then this hand looks pretty good. Yeah, I'll keep this. I like this. So potentially an early Blood Moon to cut them down would be very nice. Even with a spell on the stack, you can hold priority and activate Ral before they can target it. Can I activate Ral at instant speed? I don't think so. Maybe. I'll have to see. Yeah, I can't activate loyalty. Yeah, I can only activate loyalty abilities at instant speed. I didn't think that Ral had a special clause like Teferi usually does. I'm going to keep land number 3 on top. It is still at instant speed, Magus. So sorcery speed is when I have priority and the stack is cleared. And that's when loyalty abilities of planeswalkers can normally be activated. Hey, Polarize You, how's it going? All right, we are learning Izzet Ruby Storm. Is it? Yes, it is. And so far we are 1-1 against a Dimir Murktide, which I'm pretty okay about. Yeah, should have replicated. If they did replicate, then I wouldn't have done anything. But is replicate blue or a generic mana? I don't actually know. You got to let me know. I'm less familiar with that. Baral and Gifts. Yes, I know. Age gone by, that's for sure. No longer can I put Gifts Ungiven on the stack with 3 open mana and guaranteed have a win without any interaction. Those are gone. Those are gone for sure. Generic. Okay, Newton, thank you very much for clarifying. Yeah, I was never really sure. Okay, so, and he had 3 mana. Yeah, he definitely could have. My opponent, they, for what it's worth. My apologies. Okay, let's get a Scry land, or a Surveil land, excuse me. And Past in Flames, I'm going to put in my hand. I'm expecting them to have something like Surgical Extraction, Well, Surgical Extraction is going to get past In Flames regardless, so I'm going to put that in the bin. Yeah, I think that's all right. No show. Just wondering about how Splash Blue instead of Green and Ruby. Yeah, absolutely. We are learning on the fly. Bryant Cook definitely did put some work in here and published a video on the deck, I think yesterday. You can definitely check that out as well. Okay, definitely a counterspell. Oh my gosh, I'm 4 minutes on the clock. I need to shut up and I need to stop yapping. That's my bad. Okay, get a Surveil land here. Put land number 4 in the graveyard. Okay. Let's start with a Ral. And Modern is probably all Nadu. I don't know. Doomed with 4 minutes? Hey, we might be. I don't know. I really should have just been like F6ing through their turn. I would have saved me a few precious seconds. But that's okay. We'll do what we can. Sink into Stupor, just returning it to my hand. I'll just redeploy it. That's fine. That feels like a sign of weakness. Not really sure. William, I appreciate that. Yeah, it is the same. It's never changed. You just don't have to play blue cantrips when your Reckless Impulses are so much better. Okay, so I didn't deploy the Blood Moon before they got Murktide Regent on the battlefield. It's a little bit of an oversight, but that's fine. We can make this work. 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let's see what we can do. It's going to have to be a Ral or a Ruby Storm off the top, and I'm not really sure that it's going to happen. Couldn't we have forced... I'm going to take a look at that comment in just a second. We might have been able to force a win. I don't know. So let's... Oh, a little bit of a lagging on my computer side. Okay, so we have a Past in Flames and a Reckless Impulse. I think that we have to Reckless Impulse here. Can't just Desperate Ritual into it all. Okay, Manamorphose. So let's start off with a Desperate Ritual, and then we can Morphose into a bunch of things and see where it all goes. Make red. I hate that this changes every single time. Okay, so I can only do that one more time. And we're going to make... Oh, nope, they're going to counter this. Okay. Petty Theft. That's opening up their mana available. It's like they could just counterspell this now. They turned one. Oh, okay. Cool. Orcish Bowmasters. That'll do it. Okay. So we did lose that match, but I think that that's closer. I think that that's okay. Couldn't we have forced a win with Desperate Ritual, then Ral into 2 Manamorphoses? We definitely could have. They still had the return whatever the card was, where they just got to give me my Ral back so that I could try again. So I don't know if we actually could have forced a win there. But yeah. And then Magus, yes. So he is more vulnerable to removal than other Planeswalkers because he always flips with a spell on the stack. That's true. Gifts Ungiven is a lovely card. I have a play set. Gift Storm was my favorite competitive modern deck back in the day. It wasn't the best one by any means. I think that Shadow was my favorite competitive deck, but oh man, Gift Storm has a place in my heart for sure. Bryant usually plays Ral from a ritual. Okay, so that you have an extra mana or potentially two to like continue comboing off in terms of flipping a Ral in response to a removal spell. That makes sense. Veil of Summer would have protected my Ral. I'm not playing Veil of Summer, but that is a point in terms of Gruul. So that's an option. It would have been probably in the spot of Pact of Negation, and I didn't have a Pact of Negation. So, neither of those cards were going to be available to me at that moment. But we'll start up with match number 2, and I'm going to tell you, if you want to, you can rent the cards just like I'm doing from Card Hoarder and play some Modern Leagues of your own.
With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week?
And we're back. Alrighty. Do I like Dispel? I like whichever spell I'm casting. If it happens to be this one or that one, I'm kind of ambivalent. But as long as I'm casting spells and increasing Storm, I'm good. We are still waiting for our opponent. But for those of you who weren't around for the deck tech, then let me pull up the deck and we can take a look at what we're working with. So we have a playset of Flame of Anor, which we haven't been able to play yet. Oh, here we go. And we're here for round number 2, and we did lose the die roll this time. Yeah, thank you very much. The jokes are rolling in. I know it was a terrible pun. I am not sorry for it. You're going to have to suffer along with me. Okay. I will reveal a Gigantha at some point. There it is. Okay, so my Gigantha is there, and this is on the draw. I'm gonna keep this. I don't know. So, Ablu, I don't know if Bone Crusher Giant is viable in all these things because this is my first time playing the deck. And because of that, I'm also going to keep a hand that I'm not 100% sure on, because while we can function on 2 lands, I don't know how viable it is keeping a 1-lander with Surveil lands and hoping to find the second land with it. We're going to have to find out. I don't know. Yeah, Polarize. This is a nice little cocktail. I guess looks like a shot. It's tasty though. That's all that matters. Okay, well, we have everything that we could possibly want, except for a second land. We'll have to see. I get 1 Surveil. This is not a 1-land hand keep deck unless you're up against Grief Scan. Okay, that's good to know. I think that is something that I would probably find out eventually, but I think that having that knowledge up front with someone that's played the deck a little bit more is very useful. I don't know what we're playing up against. This could be like Boros Energy, although I don't think that they're usually playing Mishra's Bauble. There it is. So what I'm going to do is so I could ritual out the Ral and then ritual Morphose. They still are holding up more mana that I'm comfortable with, so I'm gonna just impulse here and not just play into fairly obvious removal. And now what I can do is play the Ral and then have 2 spells in response to a ritual and hopefully flip the Ral that way. Unstable Amulet. Okay. Cast a spell anywhere other than my hand. Deals 1 damage to me. Okay, and there's a lightning bolt. Okay. So this could be just like, is it or mono red prowess? I don't know. Burning Wish and Jessica's Will into Modern. Oh, William. Oh boy, wouldn't that be fun? That would be very fun. Izzet Ruby version is your favorite so far. Might be not as good as the red green. I don't know. I'm liking it, but I haven't played the other 2 yet, so I don't have a lot of skin in the game yet, but maybe eventually I will. So what I'm gonna do is ritual into this Ral. I could have played this one instead. It doesn't matter. And now, oh, okay. Do they have a splash color? Are they going to spell snare me? Nope. I should have fetched, actually. Now they have the ability to lightning bolt. Okay, sure. That's fine, though. So I'm going to try to flip this. I lost the flip there, but I still get to cast a bunch of rituals in response to this lightning bolt. It does look like mono red, though. Let's go with tails. I lost the flip. I get to draw a card and make red red. And then Pyretic Ritual. Let's... okay, so I think that I should have held priority on that one, but I did win the flip. So this is not actually enough. So I'm going to not flip this. Am I going to not flip this? Is that crazy? So if I flip this, it's going to be n minus 1, 2, where n is storm. So yeah, because it's additional counters based on the instants and sorceries that I've cast this turn. And I've cast 6 spells, or there have been 6 spells, but one of them has been this lightning bolt, and one of them have been this Monsoon Mage. So I'm going to say no. I know, it still allows me to keep the reducer, and that might just be good enough. Because I can empty the Warrens, and I think that I'll be fine. Okay, so yeah, empty the Warrens will be easy enough to clean this board up, I hope. Could that amulet work in Ruby Storm? Kill through the ring with it? Maybe. I mean, we have Thassa's Oracle to win through the ring, and many other things besides. So we're fizzling this lightning bolt, and we are fetching. I'll get a basic. Oh, I should plus Ral. I need to do that. That was sloppy. Okay, there's a wish. Let's Morphose. And we can keep going. Yeah, let's just have 5 mana. Let's resolve again. And Pyretic Ritual and a Past in Flames. Yeah, this'll do. I am going to play out the Ruby Medallion at this point, just because I can. And we get to do all of this. Oop, not that one. We get to do all of this over again, and then we can just grape shot them. All right. Yeah, this is deterministically lethal. I'm just clicking through all of this, and I'm gonna try to be quick about it. We'll see. And 18, 19. Well, they're not at 20, but that's fine. Alrighty, there we go. So yeah, we got to flip Ral, use it as a cost reducer again. We didn't actually need to flip it and ultimate. It was really nice. Okay, so yeah, that was one of the reasons that previously Bryant had apparently been casting a ritual beforehand, and it's so that we can do exactly that. Okay, I have a sideboard guide. Prowess or burn. This feels a little bit more like prowess to me. So we're going to get rid of a couple of strike at riches and a wish. And if you would like to know how to sideboard against the entire modern metagame, then you can purchase a sideboard guide from YouTube, from our Patreon, or by becoming a member of the channel. It's actually, there's also all kinds of good stuff. Discord, there's super about buku's amounts of information available for how to figure all of that out. And then we're going to get 3 Into the Flood Maws. Okay, that makes sense because they could have, what's the red 2-drop? Mage Fiend or something like that. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, it deals 1 damage to me. Something like that. So, yeah. Okay. We are still a Gigantha gamer. I forget about that all the time. Not Kiln Fiend. That's a 3-mana one, right? It's a new one. And I don't remember what it is. Okay, so technically I have 2 lands. And this Manamorphose is nice. The double wish is a bit much. I'm going to keep this, though. This wish can get problematic things. Mage Bane, Lizard, Mage Bane. That sounds about right. Yeah. Okay, so no Valakut Awakening as my land drop, because now I can get a Surveil land and not have to worry about it as much. Because Valakut Awakening is still a good card in the combo turn, right? I can actually cast the front half of this with relative ease and be a reasonable choice. Into the Flood Maw is very good. I agree. Now, obviously, I haven't played that much with the Boros versions or, the Gruul versions, but I feel like Into the Flood Maw is quite good. Yes, Desperate Ritual does sound like a very good card. Dismember, yes, absolutely. So I think that the problem with Dismember is, Ral does deal damage to us, and we have shock lands and things like that. So it's not the end of the world to play something like Dismember, but we do have, Into the Flood Maw that just 1 mana bounces a creature, end of turn, untap, combo out. I think it's pretty all right. Dispel, Joe, Dispel. So at this moment, we can figure out what our opponent is doing. There it is. Okay, our first prowess creature on turn 3. I wonder if that means that I need to be concerned about stack interaction. Like, is it prowess? I don't know. I mean, it is prowess for what it's worth, but you might as well also play Death Shadow with this. Yeah, just be a Grixis Shadow Storm. That's a different thing. Okay, I think I'm going to Impulse here. Save a little bit of mana on the front half and then see about all of this stuff. And again, I hit my land drop beforehand. That was silly. I still do that. You like a tapped fish? We're going to see if our opponent likes a tapped fish. I feel like I would love to play this in paper and just hand my opponent tapped fishes all the time. Okay, Amped Raptor. Yep, get a couple of energy. They hit a Monastery Swift Spear. Did they hit Swift Spear? Yep, that's exactly what they did. Okay. So they get in for 2 question mark. This does feel like they're holding up Lightning Bolt. So yes, Ruby was really good, Bonnie, for sure. And I can just get a Surveil land. The value of these Surveil lands is just incredible. Okay. I don't think that this is actually very good right now. I'm going to bin this. This is not where we need to be. I would love more rituals. That's okay. That's pretty good. Every time you say you're playing Impulse, not a blue spell. Yeah, I know. It does break the brain a little bit. Okay, so let's do... Hold up. I can do the exact same thing that I did before. I can just Ral into Desperate Ritual, and then they potentially bolt my Ral, and then I have 2 Morphoses to respond to that. I think I'm going to do that. Instead of playing the Ruby Medallion, because I think that the benefits of having the Ral, if they don't have a Lightning Bolt, which, I mean, obviously, they have a Galvanic Blast. Is that the energy one? I don't know. And this way, the ritual is not going to draw me cards. My card draw is here, so I can draw into more ritual. Galvanic Discharge. Okay, that's fair. Wasn't sure. But here we go. Tails, always tails. Well, Resolve is a sorcery, so I can't do that. But that is eventually the idea. Into the Flood Maw. Okay. Not necessarily what I need right now, but that's fine. Tails. I want the flip. Okay. I am going to flip Ral. And then I'm going to add blue, or just red and red, I think. I think it's going to... so I literally have Into the Flood Maw here. I will add a blue. So I have more instants to flip it. Well, the Resolve... I could have hit the Resolve first. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yep, no show. You are correct. I didn't need to lead on the Desperate Ritual. I needed to leave on the Ren's Resolve. Nope, very good catch. That's my bad. I'm not going to flip it. I don't know if this actually flips it back. I would imagine not, because it says use Monsoon Mage's ability, and this is Leyline Prodigy, so it wouldn't flip back. But I'm just going to hit no, just in case. Because Past in Flames was excellent. So what I'm going to do is win the game. I don't need the blue mana anymore. I can hit Resolve, Pyretic Ritual, Past in Flames. Oh my god. Okay. Plus the Ral. There we go. Okay. Now we're good. Desperate Ritual, Pyretic Ritual, Manamorphose. We have this in the bag now. Ren's Resolve. Let's hit another Manamorphose. Red. Mountain. That doesn't really do anything. Okay. Reckless Impulse. Valakut Awakening. I mean, I could just flip a lot of these things. It costs 1 mana to draw 5 cards. I think that's fine. Any order. And keep going. So now I can do this, and They're at 19. I'm just keep going, but if I flip this, which I didn't, I then could impulse or not ultimate Ral. Okay. Tails. I won the flip. Okay, now I'm going to flip Ral. That's fun. I'm going to keep the one with 16 counters on it, I think. I think that that's a better idea. And I'm not even going to need to worry about it. That's the amount of winning that we're doing now. I have just Grape Shot right here for lethal. Cool. That was a really nice... I mean, they could still have Mind Break Trap, I guess, but like... I can just ultimate Ral and keep going. So I think that was a really nice victory against a mono red prowess. Pause for the win. Okay, got it. There we go. We got a victory. Little bit of a sequencing error, just like No Show pointed it out. I needed to start with the sorcery so that I had 3 instants instead of just 2 to flip the Ral. But that was good. That was good enough for a 2-0 over mono red prowess, probably. All right, lovely. Well, while we're waiting on our number 3, anytime the stack is wider than the screen, we are doing something correct. I really do miss the Epic Storm mirrors before we had ways to win through Veil of Summer. Here we go. All right, and we won the die roll for round number 3. Love that. We are a Jeggy deck. We're going to hit OK. Pop the graveyards out. Pop Jegantha out. This is a 1-lander. It's a good 1-lander, but I am going to not do that on the play. Bonnie, I don't get it why so many people play bolt the Ral instead of bolting the Planeswalker. Well, because as soon as the Planeswalker flips, then they don't have any chance for priority before I get to ultimate Ral. So bolting the creature is the appropriate sequencing for that. Bonnie, since you have a flipped Walker in the spell and stack, I keep forgetting about that flipped one. You know what? You're correct. Yeah, absolutely. I guess the only issue would be if I flip it with, like 12 counters on it. I don't know. I'm going to mulligan this 1-lander like we were just talking about. Okay, this is better. I'll keep this. And I think that I'm going to put the Flame of Anor on the bottom. This is a lovely card. I do want to cast it, but I think that the Ren's Resolve is going to be a little bit better with just the 2 lands. Yeah, Magus, we just talked about that. Yep. Yeah, I just keep forgetting that it necessarily flips with a spell on the stack. That's just not something that's in my head yet. All right. Agate Assault is okay too if you need to get rid of the 1 ring as well. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. I like the Thassa's Oracle plan because it wins through a lot of other things as well, like a Leyline of Sanctity, for example. I think that that's kind of nice. Tron. Okay. Don't know if we are actually playing against Eldrazi Tron or classic green Tron. Flame of Anor, not going to be good enough, I think. I still think that that's not the matchup, especially here. I want to play Ren's Resolve here, I think. I need to get going. Okay, I hit a land drop and a Desperate Ritual. Not the most amazing, but I can at least put Jegantha in my hand, I suppose. Mine Tower. Do they just have natural Tron? Just natty 1+1+1 = 7. All right. Well, it looks like it's going to be... Come on. Okay, that's why. Cast. Put Gigantha into my hand. Steam Vents tapped. And we're rolling. What do I think about running Explosive Derailment? Well, let me see what that card does. Explosive Derailment. 1 mana. Here, I can just... Here. 1 mana. Spree. Explosive Derailment deals 4 damage to target creature. Destroy target artifact. I think that that's another option compared to Flame of Anor, for sure. I don't have a particular preference. I think that the idea that Flame of Anor also draws 2 cards is big. Oh, they don't have natural Tron. Okay. The fact that it doesn't draw 2 cards, which is great when I'm trying to respond to a problem like a Dranith Magistrate, but also good when I'm comboing out when I can just draw 2 cards whenever I need to. I think that that's like the strength of the Flame, at least in my mind. So I want to get a Surveil land here instead of Ritual out into the Jeggy. I think that that's probably a better option. Okay, so they have 4 mana for nothing. Wow. Okay. That's a little wild to me. So we have a couple of Thundering Falls, a couple of Mountains, and a Ruby Medallion. Yes, please. Obviously, it's not going to do anything right now. So what I can do is just play the Gigantha and pass. There we go. Okay, a little bit of lag on my screen. And there's the Jeggy, and we can just pass the turn. And we have a Ruby Medallion, a lot of rituals, and a Manamorphose to go. Kozilek's Command makes sense. They are ramping into something, and then they can scry a couple. Yeah. Scry's 2 to the bottom, though. And they still don't have Tron. They have, what is this, 7 mana? 7 mana. So they could kick a Sowing Mica Spawn, I think. Nope. They're not kicking it. They're just getting Tron. And then they have 6, 7, 8 mana. 9 mana. Thought Not Seer. That's pretty good. Okay. Well, that's going to get rid of that Ruby Medallion, I would imagine. Could also get rid of the Manamorphose, but nope. Do they have another Thought Not Seer? I don't know. 2 mana in the pool, 4 mana in the pool. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. Annoying, but not the end of the world yet. Tormod's Crypt. That's fine. It does shut off an avenue that I had, but that's going to be fine. Yes, I do have a mana dork of a sort. Okay. Well, what I think I'm going to do is attack Karn right now and see if our opponent wants to chump with an Eldrazi spawn or... Yeah, they do. Okay. So I think that that's just fine. Now, I could bet everything on Manamorphose. Or I could just cast the Manamorphose and see what happens. That's probably better. Okay. Red, nothing. Okay. Not looking good. Our Ren's Resolve didn't do anything. I really do wish I had the Flame of Anor now, for what it's worth. Drawing 2 cards at this moment would be lovely. The Stone Brain. Okay. What are they going to do? What are they going to name? If they name Wish, I am dead. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, okay. They named Wish, and we are deceased. We cannot win through Wishes being removed from our deck. Okay. So, against Eldrazi Tron, we are going to remove a Ren's Resolve, 2 Strike at Riches. Ooh, a little bit of lag here. 2 Strike at Riches, and then a Past in Flames and a Wish. Those are 5 cards out. And then, 3 Into the Flood Maw. Oops. And 2 Blood Moon. That makes sense to me. Leave the 3rd Blood Moon in the sideboard as a Wish target, which, remember, we can do. So, yep, 5 in, 5 out. We're going to submit the deck and see what happens. I would like to play first for sure. I can reveal Jeggy. And with this hand, well, it's a lot of mana and not a lot of anything else. I think I'm going to mulligan this one. This is acceptable. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to bottom either the Flame of Anor or one of the impulses. I think that it's going to be the Ren's Resolve. Well, I guess it's technically the Reckless Impulse, because if they have Surgical Extraction, then there's fewer Ren's Resolves in there. So that's what I'll do. That is technically more correct. So they have a Devourer of Destiny, and we'll see what the trigger ends up saying over in the screen over here. Oh, that's my exile. Okay, my graveyard is what I want. Ugin's Labyrinth with the Devourer of Destiny exiled underneath it. 2 mana for a Talisman. Okay, we are ramping out quite nicely, and an Expedition map. Okay. Let's get a Surveil Land. Flame of Anor. Into the bin. I don't need 2 of those right now. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Do I get this Talisman? Is interesting because it provides them their colored mana sources, and the Expedition map also does that. Should I hold the Ren's Resolve and get a Surveil Land? Or should I just play a Mountain and Ren's Resolve? I'm going to get the Surveil Land. I would like to flame the Talisman, and then it does all the things. Yes, it does. Does destroy target artifact. Well, I can only choose one because I don't control a wizard yet. But it's going to destroy this Talisman probably. Thundering Falls. The Ruby Medallion on top. Yes, please. And then I think what I'm going to do is let them, at the end of turn, search for something, which is what they're going to do with their open mana. And they're not, hopefully, fingers crossed, not going to get a basic forest. They got an Urza's Tower, and then I'm going to cast this, destroying an artifact. That talisman. So now we've set up a really nice Blood Moon game, I hope. Okay, so that was Devourer, Urza's Tower. We're all good. So now what I can do is resolve a Ruby Medallion and then a Blood Moon. In that order. There we go. Blood Moon. They'll likely return the Devourer to their hand. Just because they can. Oh, Kozilek's command. Okay. Yep, that's good for some colorless mana, which is something that they needed. I was trying to cut them off of. But I still think that that's pretty okay. And Flame of Anor just does all the things. I still agree with that, Magus. I know that I responded to that, but just like, man, yes, absolutely it does. They just are without green mana. Thought Not Seer, taking a Ren's Resolve, presumably. Okay. And an Expedition map. Well, okay. They have their mana. Yes, I will use the Gigantha. Thank you very much. When I next can. Okie dokie. So we'll just keep passing the turn. And next turn I can play the Gigantha, and if I draw a land, then I can Ruby Medallion into the Gigantha. That could be nice. Although that's not really necessary. There's no reason to do that with 2 Ruby Medallions. It only decreases the cost of Past in Flames and Wish, which at that point we should be winning. We should have enough mana to do all of that. But yes, they got their forest, and we'll have to see what happens next. They have colorless here. Ooh, okay. Ral is good. I'm going to still hit this Gigantha instead of the Ral, because I don't currently have anything to do with the Ral, and if they're playing Dismember, then Gigantha is going to get dismembered, hopefully. There's the Beseiju. Okay. Well, I will get a Thundering Falls and Surveil. Reckless Impulse is something that I would want to do. They have a Devourer of Destinies in their hand. It's not going to be in their hand for very much longer, right? They've got Tron. So Devourer comes down, or Soaring Mycospawn. Yeah, there's Sowing Mycospawn, not Soaring. Sowing Mycospawn, and then they got a Tower. Yep. I mean, Tron is doing Tron things. Devourer exiles Gigantha. Okay. Attacks for 4. I'm at 10. I'm dead on the flip turn. Okay. So this is go time. Let's get the Ral out. I mean, there's no reason to not hold anything back, so we can win, definitely. Won the flip. I am not going to use that yet. I need this Reckless Impulse to do things. So no flipping. Tails. Won the flip again. I'm not going to flip. So I did cast this Ral this turn. So this is... Oh, there's the Dismember. Okay. Well, That's well timed from our opponent. They knew I wasn't going to flip it anytime soon. And we can't do anything because we flipped garbage. Okay. So we will be conceding, and our opponent is going to take that match. Really well played from our opponent. They had 2 expedition maps. And I mean, that Kozilek's command, getting them the colorless mana that they needed to get rid of things with Thought-Knot Seer. Honestly, it was really nicely played. They played through, Blood Moon, which is a pretty big piece of hate for Tron deck. Obviously, they know it's coming. All right, so let's get into round number 4 without any further ado. I'm really liking this deck. Just kind of some tough ones. So top decks, lands, and mana for sure. Yeah, I get it. But without any further ado, let me tell you, if you're enjoying this and you want to support us, then you can become a member. Let me have Brian tell you all about it.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic.
And it is time to combo. And let's see, we won the die roll for our 4th opponent. And we are going to reveal this Gigantha. So flip out the graveyards. Gigantha did not get revealed? Question mark? I don't know. Speaking of dice, your work. Yeah, I know. We have some tokens. We have some token packs. I know I haven't run that ad yet, Joe, but maybe eventually. They also revealed a Gigantha. Okay. Magus, if you cut Jeggy, could play Counterspell. I think that Counterspell is definitely not a combo card. That's something that you want to be playing in control decks. Blue in a mono red combo deck is not where I would want to be. I am going to keep this lovely hand, though. Yeah, turn 2 win. Way to go, Bonnie. Well, it's a turn 2 attempt, that's for sure. And I can start off with a Thundering Falls just right off the top. That does not help me get a turn 2, but that does insulate myself. I think that I would rather be insulated instead of Hail Marying a turn 2. So I'm going to keep that on top, and that's what I'm going to do on turn 2. Which, I mean, still can happen off of a Pyretic Ritual for what it's worth. I think that's pretty good. It's usually a 5/5 for 3+4. Magus, as far as Jeggy goes, yeah, it wasn't the most amazing, but it could have been worse. Samurai Gigantha isn't that great, yeah. I'm here with you. It hasn't been great so far, and we actually have used it several times. So Boros Energy, they have the amazing permanent removal thing, whatever it's called. I do not remember. I'm not going to go for the win this turn. I think that we're going to have a little bit more time from this deck. So I want to just make them use their resources in ways that are going to put them off. Because if they have to static prison, thank you very much. If they have to play a static prison and not deploy a 2-drop that they were planning on, then like an amped raptor, I think that that's going to be good for us overall. Or they can just hit an amped raptor with haste, question mark. Yeah, okay, sure. That's fine. Now I have so much more to do with my mana. They hit a Galvanic Discharge. Okay, so yeah, they're just going to target that and get the mana that they want and not do anything else. Cool. So attack for 3, question mark? I mean, they can make Amped Raptor bigger. My computer is lagging quite a bit. Let's see if they want to make this bigger. Yes, they do. Okay. 4/3. So they attack for 5. I mean, that's not an insignificant amount of damage, but I do believe that I'm going to try to kill them next turn. So in the grand scheme of things, attacking for 5 on turn 2 is chump change if you're dead on turn 3. Okay. Let's start off with a Ral. So this is going to be N-1. So Storm -1 is going to be our instant and sorcery count for today. And let's see what happens. Tails won the flip. Of course we did. Don't flip. Pyretic Ritual. And I'm going to fetch before the Manamorphoses. Won the flip. No, don't flip. Okay. Now we're just not going to have anything else flip for the rest of the game. That's just how that's going to work. Okay. 2 draws to make everything work. Won the flip. Nope. No flipping yet. Make red and red. Flame, that's pretty good. I don't have blue mana, but I have the Manamorphose to make blue mana. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. I have won the flip again, but I'm not going to flip it yet. Okay. Thundering Falls there, not the tap land, definitely not. I can just make 2 blue mana here. Should you not gotten Thundering Falls? You mean probably a Steam Vents, but yeah. Target player draws 2 cards, 5 damage to target creature. Cast target player, me, target creature, Amped Raptor, or it doesn't matter. Okay. Tails won the flip. I can't flip this yet. N-1. I need all this. So no, and then draw 2 cards. I am not looking at chat very closely yet, just because Desperate and Past in Flames were great. Okay, I think we should have this rolled up. Okay, lost the flip this time. Sorry, I'm not paying attention to chat right now. We did win the flip though, so let's flip this Ral. And we've got an excellent little win. Okay, fantastic. Okay, cool. Let me check up out with chat. We definitely should have gotten a blue land there. And then Thundering Falls before Manamorphose to check to make sure if I hit a card. Oh, yeah, I guess if I want to hit a card, that's fine. I think that Manamorphose before Ritual, STRMS. Okay, that's fair. If you don't hit anything, you burned your rituals first. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Manamorphose and then rituals make sense. This is hey, I'm learning how to play the deck, so I appreciate the feedback. That is something that I need to learn. So good sequencing is Morphos and then the rituals to make sure that I have as much information to make decisions before moving forward. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Boros Energy. Check the sideboard guide out. You can get it any of our social medias or YouTube or Patreon. We're going to get rid of 2 Strike It Rich. We haven't hit Nadu yet. I guess there's just like a nice little gentleman's agreement of just not playing Nadu. I don't know. Bonnie, you also play Ruby Storm on Moto, so pretty happy to help. Excellent. Okay. Everybody is super helpful today. I really appreciate that, guys. So Into the Flood Maw makes sense. We're going to be bouncing problematic permanents like Dranith Magistrate, which is the biggest concern that I have. Yes, this is the new version with the flame. I'm really excited about it. I have not played nearly any Ruby Storm. I played a league beforehand to practice just so that I could understand some of the sequencing. But this is Daddy's first Ruby Storm. Not good for leagues, too many clicks. It's fine, but yeah. Oh, Nadu has too many clicks. That makes sense. I'm going to keep this. But yeah, Nadu does seem like it has some problems in terms of just time management. I could see that being a concern. Okay, Ragavan. That's fine. They don't really have the ability to hit anything that's amazing. And because of that, I'm going to let them hit me instead of surveilling to kind of bait their hit and their exile off of the top. I would rather make my draws better than their hit off of Ragavan marginally worse on average. Mostly just because they're not going to be able to hit very many good things. Steam Vents. Okay, sure. I have 3 of those. You need to get a treasure. You can drop a 3-drop if you want. Like, it's not bad, but Guide of Souls and a True Drop, Amped Raptor, Ocelot Pride. Okay, sure. Yeah, they're doing the thing. Oh, do they have a Soul Guide Lantern? Okay, that's fine. And then Ocelot Pride triggers in the end step, and I'll just really quickly surveil now before they make a cat. Flame seems pretty okay. Flame seems pretty good. Energy has been beating Nadu up. They're the bad guy now. Energy is bad. Okay. Pokedad Sam, thank you for that information. That is not something that I was expecting. So I realize that I'm just playing this into Static Prison, but I feel like this is more important to get onto the battlefield quickly, and I have Into the Flood Maw to get the Static Prison out. So I'm feeling okay with that currently. We'll see how it goes. Rather than trying to like ritual into the Ruby, then ritual, and then wish and do things, I don't think that that's going to be where I want to be. Amped Raptor. Okay. Got plenty of mana, plenty of energy. Excuse me. Okie dokie. Legacy Radstorm Poison Wind. Well, we have to have Radstorm on MTGO. I would love to have that available, but until that actually ends up happening, oh, they have the City's Blessing. Okay. Terrifying. That was quick. Turn 3 City's Blessing. My goodness. Wow. I am very impressed, I must say. Yeah, none of the Radstorm pieces that you would need to play with are on MTGO, just like the standard High Tide stuff. Okay. Now they get to make a copy of Enchanted. Okay. The creature that entered this turn. Okay, so they're going to be able to make an Amped Raptor. That's pretty cool. Yeah, non-moto players have it a little bit nicer in some respects for sure, JF. That's for sure. All right. Well, I am very deceased unless I get to do something right now. I don't really... The things that are in my sideboard are like Past in Flames, and this Soul Guide Lantern cleans that up really easily. So what I can do is draw 2 cards with Flame of Anor and see where it takes me. Target player draws 2 cards. Come on, there we go. Target me. This is a ridiculous board state. Reckless Impulse? Okay, well, we're still going. We can ritual into the Reckless Impulse. Survey says Manamorphose. Okay, we're still going. Sort of. So I will Manamorphose into blue-red this turn so that I can play Flame of Anor. Blue-red. Ruby Medallion. That's a lot of Ruby Medallions, guys. I think I'm good. So Ritual, Flame of Anor, draw 2 cards. This feels very tenuous. Like I'm not comfortable. Past in Flames. Not what I wanted. And I never really had a moment where I could bounce into the Flood Maw to or use Into the Flood Maw to bounce the Soul Guide Lantern. Oh yeah, Samurai, you're just talking about that. I don't think that I had a point where I could do that and have a reasonable graveyard, right? Because it was going to be after this Morphos resolved to make the additional blue mana to do that. So I would have had Desperate Ritual, Flame of Anor, and that was it. So I don't think that that was ever going to be a viable option. However, that's it. I don't think that the bounce for the Soul Guide Lantern was going to be reasonable. So we're going to just resubmit, and we're going to do this on the play and hopefully have a better time of it. All right. Would like to be on the play. Wish Brotherhood to clean his board. Wish plus Brotherhood. I don't know. I don't know what you mean, Felipe. Oops. Okay, let's see. Unkeepable 7 into it's an okay 6. Galvanic Discharge, just cleaning up one Raoul Monsoon Mage, means that I think that I'm going to bottom the Past in Flames here. And lead on Thundering Falls, then shock in Steam Vents to Raoul. Understand that it's probably going to get discharged, and then Raoul the next one. Brotherhood's End in the sideboard. Nope, no Brotherhood's End in the sideboard. No sweepers in the sideboard here. All right, so that just, I mean, I don't think that that's an oversight. This is just Bryant Cook's deck list. He gave it to me in a sideboard guide so that we could, be on the same page. Land number 3. I don't hate that. Yeah. And we plan to rally after the discharge. Absolutely. Really glad. Joe, where are you? The puns are getting worse. They're definitely, they're not improving, that's for sure. I'm enjoying it, but nobody else is. All right, we're going to shock this Steam Vents in because I might just be able to use this Wooded Foothills as Thundering Falls again. And we'll see if this gets discharged. If not, then we have a little bit of a chance for turn 3, depending on our draw step. But I'm expecting this to get removed. I mean, it's not yet. Thanks, Joe. There it is. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Mm-hmm. And okay, so we have 3 cards in hand. Did they take a mulligan? Hey, they did. Okay, cool. 3 cards in hand. And a Valakut Awakening's not bad, actually. That could allow us to do some nice things. So I'm just going... do I play the Ral? No, I don't think so. I think that I'm going to Reckless Impulse and Surveil Land. Instead of Ral and Surveil Land, I think the Impulse is a better option. Oh, okay. That could be helpful if they have a Magistrate, Draneth Magistrate, to wrap their turn up next turn. Oh, no, of course not. It would turn off... Yeah, never mind. Impulsing into and Into the Flood Maw does not help me remove a Draneth Magistrate. But, oh well. Silly. Okay. Attack for 3. They don't have 3 energy quite yet because they had to bolt with the Aether Hub. Draneth Magistrate? No. Okay. Ajani Nakatl Pariah enters the battlefield. Grade 2/1. Whether one or more cats you control die, exile, and return. That's less necessary. Energy Cat Tribal. That's fun. Okay. So, Thundering Falls. Ruby Medallion. I mean, that's not... So let's see. Hold up. How dead am I? They have plenty of energy. So this only happens once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm at 9. Or I take 9. I'm at 4. Excuse me. So I have another turn after this. Because they don't have the haste land yet. So they would have to do an extra 4 damage. That's totally possible. Alternatively, I could bottom this and see. Yeah, I think I'm just going to bottom this and hope for the best. I still have this Into the Flood Maw that can bounce something potentially. Okay. Let's start off with a Ral. Attack with all and flip a Johnny. Cats you control die. How are they going to kill any of their cats? I don't know. But... Oh, they could just kill something and then flip it. That's fine. Yeah, kind of terrifying. I think now is the go turn. Especially since I'm going to be doing myself damage with Ral. Skull Clamp? Oh yeah, Skull Clamp is the way to go. Do they have Solitude? I don't know. What's the pause? The pause. The cat's pause. Okay, I will go for blue-red. There's a Ruby Medallion that I didn't really want. Should I be fetching? Probably. Ral triggers, tails, lost the flip. Okay. Red now. I feel like it's fine. Okay. Well, let's cast a pseudo wheel. And I'm going to forego... No, I should probably still hold up the blue. That's fine. I won the flip. Well, that's not very helpful right now. Save the cat puns for Luris. Yeah, I can do that. I don't know if I would play Luris, though. Okay. Any order. Survey says Ren's Resolve, and okay, so that's, I guess, one of the problems with my line is if I Ren's Resolve into, say, another Ren's Resolve and anything else, like I don't have the red floating, so I'm kind of priced into just casting Into the Flood Maw here, bouncing a Johnny. Tails, lost the flip. Okay. This is N-1, so even if I cast the Ren's Resolve and it flips, then I'm not going to have the ability to impulse here. Yeah, the blue might have been pretty unnecessary. I was thinking that I needed to keep it up for Flame of Anor, but I wasn't thinking about what happened once my Valakut Awakened actually resolved, how much I would actually be able to work with. And having 1-1 thought, like, made sense in my head, but definitely didn't work in the long run. So they're going to be able to do this somewhere. Yep, Ocelot Pride makes sense. So 3, 4, 5, 6. I can block the 2-1 and eat it for lunch. Cat's meat, hot wine. Cat's meat and hot wine. A Knight's Tale for all of you. Flame wasn't going to win. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Goblin Bombardment. That will definitely win the game. Alrighty then. Unfortunate, but I think that, yeah, I could have definitely I didn't need to float blue there. I just needed to be focused on my combo, and most of the things that I had outs to were just a bunch of red. They did have a way to flip a Johnny. Yep. And kill me all at once. Alrighty then. So let's try this one more time. Oops. That's my bad. I already hit that. Okay. So let's play a league match. And if you want to do all of this and keep track of all of this in paper, we've got some tools to help you out with that.
Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game.
Alrighty, and we are back waiting for our fifth opponent. Would a braid be better than flood? Well, I don't have an answer for that, so let's actually think about that for a second. Let's think about why we would use a braid versus why we would use flood. A braid limits us to a 2 mana answer, which is one more than Into the Flood Maw, obviously. And while this a braid does answer something permanently, it doesn't kill Magebane Lizard. Is that a 4-butt? Wow. Okay. I was thinking that like this also is just mana efficient and completely answers anything that we need it to, regardless of if it's a creature or artifact. This also deals with enchantments like Deafening Silence, which a braid does not do with. So I think that the bounce is a lot more important. Even though it's not a permanent answer, it's essentially just a end step, bounce your thing, untap, kill you, rather than finding a final answer to the problem. Explosive Derailment does do that, yes. I think that that's a little bit more mana. That would be something that we're talking about replacing Flame of Anor with rather than Into the Flood Maw. Flame of Anor also, for what it's worth, deals with anything that's 5 damage or 5 toughness. So I think that we've got the best of both worlds here. Flame of Anor does the things that Explosive Derailment wants to, while also drawing us cards, right? Oh, I have not seen this Ashling the Extinguisher outside of Vivarus's Moto icon. Interesting. If we have the blue mana to cast them. That is true. That is one of the downsides of those options, is they are mana specific. Okay, so I have 2 mana. I've got the draw. I think I'll keep this. That's my cat. Oh, yes, that is my cat. Angus has a little like spring, little plastic spring that he's been chasing around, and sometimes he gets stuck and he screams at it and yells. And unfortunately, I can't help him right now. Normally, I would be able to, but not tonight. Okay, here we go. Here's Nadu. Last round of the league, and we do hit Nadu. I am going to keep this Steam Vents. That's exactly what I want. All right. No, it's not yours. It's Angus, and he's over that way, and pretty upset about everything. Enters exchange control of any contributor. Huh. So they just wanted to... Okay, cool. It's neat. Okay, so let's shock this in. I'm just going to Ren's Resolve here. Felipe, the blue version, is way more inconsistent because it doesn't have Glimpse. Well, not all versions have Glimpse, though. Oh, that's both of our things that we want. Wow, look at that. This match won't go to time. Yeah, there's a lot of clicking for both of us. This might go to time. I don't know. And Angus is fine. He's calmed down. He's just sitting by the door, staring at me morosely. I'll make sure that he gets plenty of time with me after this. Survey says green, no green. Attack for 4. I don't know. Springheart Nantuko. Yep, okay. You get a 1/1. That's all good. I am going to hopefully, fingers crossed, untap and kill my opponent. A land would be a good draw. Like this is a tapped land. That's not going to help me. Land would be nice. Ral is not a land, but okay, we can make this work. Let's cast the Ral. Monsoon Mage. Oh, I forgot to ritual. I don't know what I was doing there. Oh, I needed a ritual first. That was silly. I don't know what I was thinking. I needed to ritual first and then Ral, but that just didn't happen. And then because I was flustered, I didn't even pay attention to making my land drop. That was my bad. There was a series of compounding mistakes that shouldn't have happened. Okay. My apologies, everybody. That was kind of tough. Okay, so they have binned an Ottawara. They don't care about making this Ral accessible. Okay, let's see what happens. Are they just going to go for Urza's Saga? Do they have... Okay, the tap makes me think that they might actually have a Nadu. Twas the cocktail? Yeah, sure. Haywire might. Okay, glad I didn't actually play the Ruby Medallion. Give him a treat and tell him it was from you. He seems pretty excited about that, that's for sure. Wall of Roots. Okay, I can just F6. I don't know why I wasn't doing that before. I can just turn this off. Teferi, bounce the Ral. Okay. Attack for 6, 7. All right. Well, this time I'm going to ritual things first. Oh my gosh. Okay. Cast. Let's see what happens. Ritual. And it's going to be N-1 again. 1 the flip. Don't switch. So I've got... Ooh, what are they doing? Okay, they're letting that resolve. Cool. Ren's resolve. Lost the flip. Okay. Can only do so many more of those. They have 2 cards in hand. I don't know what they are. Could be a Force of Negation blue card. If they were going to interact, this is the point. I have committed. I don't have any other activity. Okay. That's good. There's a land drop. That's nice. And then a Reckless Impulse. Tails, N-1. I won the flip. No switching around yet. Hey, there's some stuff. Okay. Gonna remember this. Actually, I'm gonna fetch first. How about that? Mountain, Stroke of Midnight, and Soul of Partition. I wonder. I don't know. I don't know what those cards are off the top of my head. Okay. N-1, so even if I won this flip, I'm not going to do anything. And make red, blue this time. Strike it rich. Okay. Interesting. Let's do this. Monsoon Mage, Tails, lost the flip this time. Okay. I don't have very many more of those to lose. Tails, won the flip. Yes. Okay. I am going to flip this Ral, and survey says, boom. Okay. I can do the Ral. Oh, I can't do the Ral trick. No. Yeah, so I can't stack spells on there to trigger it a couple of different times. But that's fine. So I will ritual. I'll just get some of this out. Oh, they both exile Teferi. I don't think that we really care about Teferi, do we? Not really. Oh, that was fun. Okay, so let's hit up. Yeah, let's draw a couple of cards. Since it's free, I can't do this. Oh, I guess literally there is a free draw too. It's called Gush. Never mind, Joe. Thought I was going to be cheeky. Now I could be playing this other Ral, but I don't want to because I'm at 3 and I don't want to risk losing 3 flips at once. I don't think that it's worth it. So the idea is this Past in Flames is going to be the get as soon as I'm done casting other things. Oh, wait. Oh, I can cast this Ruby Medallion, actually, now that I have a cost reducer that's not RAL. I think that that's reasonable. Reckless Impulse now. Wish, great. Past, great. He's dead. Don't need anything. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. That's, Felipe, you are correct. Okay. I keep forgetting. Great. Okay. So I actually already have a wish ready to go. So I can just grape shot right now. It's also at 18. I don't think that they have the fawn, but I guess we're going to find out, won't we? Your Storm main. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Okay, so just click through all of these grape shots. The Past in Flames is going to be cast for free, and then we can do all of this over, or just kill our opponent. Okay, Past in Flames now. We are getting pretty laggy. It's been a little bit. Okay. Thank you, opponent, for conceding. Alrighty. Yes. Got the fawn unless they exile. Great. It's all good. I mean, if they did exile Grape Shot, then we can Thassa's Oracle or something like that, I guess. Okay, so we have combo, Nadu combo, 2 and 2. Okay, so we're going to cut the... Hey, you know what, Samurai? We don't need to be doing that. All right? One warning, and then I'll have to put you on pause just for the language. This is not a kid-friendly stream because there is, incidental swearing on my part. However, we do want to make it relatively inclusive, especially. So, just watch it. But we did get there in the end, which was nice. And I think that we're going to be able to do it again. We won game 1, which I'm really excited about. And unfortunately, I don't think that this is going to be a keep. It's close. This is just better, all around better. And I think I can get rid of the mountain, start on a Thundering Falls and see where things go. Or, yeah, I'll do that. I'll get rid of the mountain, start on the Thundering Falls. Is that true? Should I get rid of the Flame of... No, the Flame is pretty good. The Flame is pretty good. The Valakut might be the worst card here. The lands are not bad. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what they got for me. You'd bottom the mountain, Alex? Oh, okay. You'll find land 3 if I even need it. That makes sense. Also, hello, Alex. Welcome to the chat. Okay, we can get rid of the Flame of Anor. Let's see. I don't know if I want to, like, we've seen Haywire Might. They're probably just playing the one as a sort of saga target, but they probably have, Besejus and things like that. I don't know how reasonable it is to hold Rumi Medallion so I can get another Surveil here. These are things that I would know if I was more up on the modern metagame, but I'm not. So we'll see what happens. Well, this is looking like a potential turn 3. So I am going to... Oh, goodness. There's a lot of lag here. Okay, I am going to push through with the Ruby Medallion. Let's see what happens. Now, they could just immediately slam a Nadu. They don't have blue mana yet. There it is. Okay, never mind. And if they do, then they have 3 targets with a Sylvan Safekeeper. We'll have to see. We are still playing up against Nadu, 2 main board Besejus. Yep. I mean, that makes sense. I think that with the Wren's Resolve and the ability to potentially present a turn 3, I think I was incentivized to play out the Ruby Medallion. I could be wrong, but I think that that's not incorrect. Is it the most correct? I don't know. It was a decision that was made. Okay, so there's Nadu. And that's all fine. Okie dokie. Let's start off with a Wren's Resolve. Oh, do they have a Silence or an Orim's Chant? No. They're trying to tap blue. Oh, wait, no, they just tapped this Wall of Roots. What is this? Court of Calling? Court of Calling for 2. What is this? Drannith Magistrate? Probably a Drannith Magistrate. Well, I have Into the Flood Maw for that. So I'm going to let that go. Yeah, Bonnie, you said it. Okay, so I can actually play a land drop here because this just says spells. Okay, cool. I'm going to do that. And do I want to shock this in? Yes, because I have the Flame of Anor. Yeah, the Safekeeper is going to be kind of tough. I mean, the Safekeeper is their only way to target the Nadu as well. I mean, they just have a clock and they have me kind of dead to rights anyway. But what I'm going to try to do is deal 5 damage to the Sylvan Safekeeper in their upkeep. And see what happens. So, like, I get it that this is an additional trigger. They got a forest. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right timing for that. Okay, and they revealed a Delighted Halfling off of that second Nadu. So, yeah, there's no good timing for this. This might just be it. And somebody previously mentioned I could have a Brotherhood's End in the sideboard. that would clean up a Draneth Magistrate through a Sylvan Safekeeper. That is something to bring up to Bryant about. If that's a necessary thing that we need in the wish board, I don't know. But in this very specific instance, it would help. I don't have a wish to make that actually feasible, but if I did, it would be nice. Oh, I can't wish for it with Draneth. Oh, of course not, Samurai. Yeah, never mind. It's not Burning Wish. Burning Wish, I would be fine with. Yes. Okay, Springheart Nantuko. Well, the Sylvan Safekeeper is the only thing that they got going for them. Wish for Wrath is a lot of mana, yes. It's 4 mana, potentially. But yes, I can't actually do that. Yeah, it is not Burning Wish. I just need to remember that it's not Burning Wish, and most of the time that's a good thing, and then sometimes it's not. I can concede now? Can I? Yeah, I probably can. Okay. Wish for Blast Zone. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Yeah, I can probably just go. Demonic Tutor is the way to go. I mean, honestly, as far as 2-mana tutors go, it's not bad. Okie dokie. They're just going to make Draneths every turn. Oh, yeah, because they can copy the Springheart and Tuco. Yeah. Never mind. How do they do that? Yes. Okay. Well, let's try this one more time with feeling. That is... Oh, okay. This is a 1-lander that I think I'm going to have to keep. Is this a 1-lander? I mean, it's not actually that great. If it had more mana, then I think I would keep this. I'm going to mulligan this one. You snap this one? I think that like this is one too many impulses and one fewer matchup is a race. Okay, I'll keep it. Hand is fine. Okay. 2 people, 3 people recognizing that I need to keep this, so I will do that. I'm on the play, but yeah. 1-landers, okay, so I come from a Legacies background, so 1-landers are like perfect. I want 1 land and I never want to see another one as far as Legacy Storm goes, but Modern is different. Never keep 1 land, Bunny. Okay, well, I don't know. I think that there are some differing opinions, and I think that I need to just play the more risky line more often and see how it works out. See how many times I actually get burned by it. Into the Flood Maw, probably not what I need. Another ritual. I mean, as soon as I have something to go off of, we're good. There are decks in Modern that keep 1. I mean, I played Death Shadow for a long time in Modern before, kind of in the Humans era, Humans, KCI, a little bit into the Hogak era. It was a great time. So... Springheart Nantuko land drop. Yeah, there it is. Okay, tap land. That's not bad. Do they play Subtlety? People that know. Do we Subtlety in Nadu? I don't know. They probably Force of Negation. That's probably what they do, but I don't know if they also play Subtlety. Okay. A little bit tricky. I'm going to get rid of a Ren's Resolve because it's the one that can't surgical and get rid of something in my hand. Because my hand is full of 2 ofs. Okay. Is this a Nadu? Looks like it. Nadu doesn't play Subtlety. They play Endurance for the graveyard. Okay, that makes sense. There's a land. And do they have a Shuko? If they have a Shuko, I think I can concede, right? That's just it. They have 16 minutes. They can click through all of that regardless. Shuko. Okay. Well, that'll do it. Unfortunate that we didn't hit their land drop. I don't know if that's wrong still. Like, obviously, we lost that game, but that doesn't mean that our decision was wrong. I just wanted to clear that up. We would need to do that, 50 more times to have a clearer answer of, is that more reasonable to keep or mulligan a one-lander on the play against a matchup that is actually a race? So I think that that's not bad. Bonnie thinks that if I'm on the draw, I can keep a one land. If I'm on the play, then I can't. It's not wrong because of the game. It's wrong because of hundreds of other games. Well, I don't have hundreds of other games. I just have these, what is this? 3, 6, 8, 10, 13 games. So I don't know. And that's why you guys are here in chat. You guys have played more games, but I haven't. So this is why the conversation happens. And I have, Alex in chat and Bryant, who I have seen play relatively high numbers of games more often than I have other people in chat. So I typically listen to them more because we tend to align. But if that is wrong, then I'm very happy to hear about why. You can tell me about it in chat, honestly, or in the comments of the video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. As always, it's been a pleasure. I think that I can, click out of this right now. I think that this was a good test on Flame of Anor, which ended up being good in some cases and bad in others when we were kind of restricted in terms of blue mana. But other than that, we're going to try out again and again and again until we find out what splash color that you need to be playing in your blue deck. Is it blue? Maybe. I don't know. I'll see you guys later.